first time this is come on Spurs TV. We were discussing Chelsea and Spurs at the bridge. We termed it the Battle of the Bridge. First time we're meeting this season. It's a throwback to last a few seasons. If you think back, we went to Chelsea. Chelsea played us. We played them 4 times last season, and we didn't win one game. I think we probably ended up scoring one goal, if that, And today's result, in many ways, is a bit of a step up from what happened last season. I talked earlier on about the starting lineup, and I know that some people have come sort of maybe have a bit of a go and say, oh, okay, maybe we should have had what you might call a different starting lineup. What do you guys think? Ben?
Yeah, well, I don't know about different starting lineup. I think that what Conte had in front of him was, I think Deji mentioned in the beginning, that he was only going to change things if he was given reason to change things. And he didn't see reason to change it because obviously after the winning 4-1 last week, those guys would be pumped up. And they were. And I think they held their own in the first few minutes. But I think the heat, they keep talking about the heat. They did their preseason in heat and stuff like that. But heat is heat. And I think what Conte did say to them was, try and manage the game. It's going to be a hot game. And Chelsea normally come on, they just flood you with play, and they're playing really fast. But I think in the end, what Conte wanted to do was he always knew he was going to bring on Richarlison and the rest at 60 minutes. And then they were going to really turn on the style on those Chelsea players. And I have to, I don't know whether anyone's going to disagree with me, but I think that we really applied the pressure, especially the last minute goal. It was absolutely wonderful to watch. Absolutely wonderful. So I think it was okay choosing those same players. I think the other players that came on they still need a bit more time to bed in to be able to make a start. So I think overall it was a brilliant management of the game by Don Conte.
Yeah, game management wise, I thought Chelsea. Well, they had dominated possession. They had 70% of possession to our 30%, and for a very good part of the game, they kept us at bay. We couldn't get out. If you looked at the match, we had times when we just couldn't get out of there. Almost like we were hemmed in, and I don't know. It's really difficult. Really difficult. But they held it together, and in the end, we came up with something. Now, the second half. Before we even go to the second half, if you think about what happened in the first half, the way Chelsea played, Chuma, you can testify to this. We haven't heard you say much about this match. What are your thoughts?
It's what I say to everyone. Chelsea could be on a horrible streak, but as soon as Tottenham show up at the bridge, they now decide that that's the day that they bring everything out. And I was happy, if you remember during the review, I was happy when I heard Kovacic wasn't playing and Alonso, because two of them are huge bogey figures for Chelsea against Tottenham. But Tuchel planned the game very well. The first 10, 15 minutes, if we had scored in those first 10, 15 minutes, it might have been a completely different game. But after those first 10, 15, their midfield, they overran Spurs. And they're a proactive team. So they are always looking for passes, always moving. Their midfield overwhelmed Højbjerg and Bentancur. But it's like everyone else on the panel was saying, Conte gave everybody the right to play until he makes the change. And then we'll see. I personally don't think Bentancur and Højbjerg will play again for a while, or he'll test something new, I think, in midfield after this game. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that, and Perisic might get the promotion to be starting left wing back, because it's just his changes were wonderful. Second half, we were more aggressive. We took more chances. The first half, the ball couldn't even stick on Son. So someone wrote a piece, I think, in the Athletic or something about the fact that if you're trying to play possession football, it never works with Son. because Son rather likes the ball moving around and running behind. When you're trying to pass for him to hold, pass and give, he's not really that good. And if you saw the game today, Son just never stayed with him. Even when Kane tried some part, it just never really worked. But the second half was such an improvement, and yeah, it's a different mentality, different mindset. Someone said champions find a way not to lose. So
Yeah, I thought that was a good performance from the perspective of we didn't actually fold, even though there were all of us put us under a lot of pressure, but we kind of just held it together just about, and in the end we came in with points. I love the fighting spirit, and I was saying to somebody before the game actually started, and I was saying that look, I think it was Deji I was talking to. I said, look, Deji, I've been a Spurs fan for God knows how long, and I know the sort of trepidation that I have in me whenever we go to Stamford Hill, Stamford Bridge. We just never seem to be able to win there. Okay, we get a draw, the odd draw. Most times we get walloped in that place, and I just didn't have that feeling today. Going into that match, and I had a bit of a sinking feeling when they scored their first goal. I thought to myself, oh my goodness. But hey, I just thought, okay, we're still in this. There's still very much to play for. And it kind of managed, well, not managed, able to turn around somewhat. Falabi, what did you think of when the first goal went to you?
Well, the funny thing, my own was, okay, keep your shape. Keep your shape. We're not getting in their faces. They're getting in our faces, and if worst comes to the worst, we go in at halftime, 1-0 down.
Yeah.
Come back, second half, 1-0 down. Let them have, as far as I'm concerned, they can have 99% possession, and we have 1% possession. We go in and we regroup. I know Don Conte is going to change the whole shape because he has the bench to change our formula. When we went to a back four, we changed it completely. When Richardson came on, he was running, and he gave their defense something to be thinking about, and he was in their face. We now all got into their face, which we had not been from the first 10 minutes of the game. Chelsea now knew they were in a game, and I loved the way we came back and we scored. We scored from pressure. We scored from pressure. That was the equalizing goal. Their disaster, as far as I'm concerned, a defensive disaster. Emerson, if you're going to clear the ball, clear the ball. Stop battling around like you always like to do. Okay, they went 2-1 up. We were under pressure. But if you look at Spurs, we didn't give up. We still kept shape. We kept shape because of the defense of the bench that we could bring on. And I agree with Chuma. You want to play possession football, you can't play possession football with Son. Because Son likes to move forward. Son and Lucas are the same people. We cannot play possession football with them. They don't like passing up and down. They just like to attack and go one forward. And we were doing, we composed ourselves, and we've now put pressure on them. And one thing we realize now with Chelsea is they could not take our pressure. They could not take us in their face. We now believed. And I always believed that we would score that equalizing goal. I did.
It's funny you say that. I had the same sort of belief. I know it's easy to say. I had the same belief as well. I think the other key thing for me in the match was the fact that, this having 5 substitutes thing actually just worked the treat, because you notice that Conte changed it twice in the second half. First, he went to a back four when Son came on, and then when he brought on
Yes.
Perisic, he went back to a back three. You know,
Back three,
and
yeah.
and then the whole thing just changed all over again. And I love how adaptable the team has become, in the sense that they're able to sort of cope under pressure, think, and make necessary changes that would give the result. Now, I didn't know what happened to Kulichevsky today. He just didn't seem to, he didn't seem to click at all. I mean, I think maybe he listened to our podcast. Chuma, what do you reckon?
No, to who did you say?
I
What
said,
happened to who?
Cuckoo.
I said Kulichevsky might have listened to our last podcast when we named him Kulu unplayable, and it
but
must have gotten to him.
The thing about Kulusevski is, so a friend of mine pointed it out to me. He said Chelsea know he's coming, so Chelsea will find a way to block that lane for him to go wide. So he has to come deep, and if he comes deep, both their central midfielders and centre backs will come for him. So that's what they did. When he doesn't have a right wing back that is more advanced, he comes inside more. If his right wing back was as good, I'm not dissing Emerson, but it is what it is. If he was
It's true.
if he had a more technical,